What's up, horror nerds? Welcome back to Big Go Belt Media. As always, where the blood and the guts fly is exactly where you will find me, Zero Gravity. And today I have a couple words on Chainsaws Were Singing. It's a much needed addition to the world of horror musicals. The film hails from Estonia with both its dialogue and its musical numbers in the native language. Chainsaws Were Singing was a huge success and made waves at Fantasia Festival. And boy, I kind of wish that I was there in attendance. I'm not even going to lie to you. I covered the festival virtually. So after my initial virtual screening at home, I had my own opinions. Then, after talking to a few friends who had the chance to actually go to the screening at the festival, I changed said opinions for what I think is a pretty good reason. But before I get to that, I'll let you in on some of the details. So, Chainsaws Were Singing is a true DIY passion project from Estonian filmmaker Sander Moran, who directed, wrote, shot, edited, and scored the 118-minute Joyride. The synopsis is as follows. Adventures await when new lovers are separated by a chainsaw killer. Super vague for a story that hits the ceiling fan in a plethora of different ways, including twincest and a very left field supernatural paranormal subplot. So you're not going to believe it, but the film has been described as Monty Python meets the Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Les Mis? Question mark? And as the only way to describe their zany, gonzo, blood-soaked musical, I'm telling you that's the most accurate description that I've heard and could probably ever think of after witnessing this kooky love letter of horror media. Now, personally, what do I think about horror musicals? I think we could use a couple more. Honestly, I grew up a fan of Sweeney Todd, Repo, The Genetic Opera, Rocky Horror, and Little Shop. But with the way that the world doesn't always mesh with theater kids, I do get it. It is an acquired taste. But on the bright side, there will always be an audience for this type of stuff. It's just really, I think, important to bring the work to bring a project like this to its appropriate community. And fortunately, the festival goers of Fantasia Fest, and it also will be making its appearance on Fantastic Fest. It's a great place to find that audience in bulk to solidify the cult classic effect that I really think is going to be going on here with this film. So this one isn't a movie to watch alone. That was probably the downfall for my personal screening experience, just giving me a just okay one. But if you compare it, we can just be real. Watching something like Rocky Horror Picture Show might never work in an audience of only one. So it does make sense that Chainsaws Were Singing probably won't either. As a solo viewer, I think the things that I loved most about this film became super stale after the first third went by. We have a slapstick comedy filled with gratuitous gore, a delightfully high body count, and playful and also chaotic camera angles that kind of mimic the Edgar Wright style of cheese and storytelling that personally I like very much. So this story in particular is told in parts, and by the third act, the charm pretty much had completely worn off for me, which turns the rest of my watch into just kind of a mental marathon until I reach the credits at the end. I wouldn't consider this film a waste of time, though, by any means at all. But once your threshold has been hit, it's hard to keep the same sentiment towards its kooky, uncanny valley kind of nature. So I originally set my score on Letterboxd at 2 out of 5 stars, which actually ended up sparking a conversation between my colleagues and I, who were actually able to screen the film in person at the festival. And they made me realize that the audience effect could not have been more important here. So I realize now that Chainsaws Were Singing is a film fueled by audience reaction. I'd even go as far as to say that the film probably won't work the way that it's intended to in a solo beverage-less screening. And for that reason, I think I do deserve a do-over on this one. And honestly, you all deserve an honest recommendation. So for those of you who have your ears to the floor for this one, I 100% encourage you to cop a ticket to go and see it and secure your spot. Don't do what I did and watch this by yourself at home alone on the couch if you drink without a beverage. But that's all I've got this time. As always, I have been Zero Gravity. Thank you so much for watching.